What if I told you that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts? That most of what you do every day is essentially inefficient. This video isn't just motivational speak, it's a mathematical principle that can revolutionize how you work, live, and achieve your goals. I'm talking about the Pareto principle, also known as the 80 by 20 rule. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to identify your high impact activities and eliminate the time wasters that are holding you back. So first understand what is the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle was discovered by Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto in 1896. He noticed that 80% of Italy's land was owned by just 20% of the population. But here's what's fascinating. This pattern shows up everywhere. In business, 80% of sales come from 20% of customers. In software, 80% of crashes comes from 20% of bugs. In your wardrobe, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. In relationships, 80% of your happiness comes from just 20% of your relationships. Now, these aren't always exact 80 by 20 splits. Sometimes it's 90 by 10, sometimes it's 70 by 30, but the principle remains a small number of inputs create the majority of outputs. This matters because most of us spread our energy equally across all tasks, treating everything as equally important. But what if only 20% of your efforts drive 80% of your results? Imagine what would happen if you could identify and focus on just 20%. Here's the psychology behind it. Why we struggle with this. Our brains are wired to treat all tasks as equally urgent. We have what psychologists call completion bias. We feel good checking things off our to-do list regardless of their actual impact. We often mistake being busy for being productivity. We fill our days with low impact activities because they are easier, more comfortable, and give us that immediate gratification of getting things done. But here's the reality. Not all the tasks are created equally. Some move the needle significantly, others bear the register. The Pareto principle forces us to confront this uncomfortable truth and make tough choices about where to spend our limited time and energy. Let's take some real-world example. Let me give you some concrete examples. Amazon found that 20% of their products generate 80% of their revenue. Microsoft discovered that fixing 20% of their most reported bugs eliminate 80% of system crashes. Let's take a personal example. In your personal life, 20% of your possessions probably provide 80% of your satisfaction. Think about it. How many items in your home do you actually use regularly? 20% of your social media consumption likely provides 80% of the valuable information you get from it. The rest, just mindless scrolling. 20% of your learning sources may be one great book or one mentor, one course, probably account for 80% of your knowledge growth. Here's how to conduct your own Pareto audit. Number 1 is list your activities for 1 week. Track everything you do. Work, task, personal activities, everything. Don't change your behavior, just observe and record. Step 2 is measure the impact rate. Each activity on a scale of 1 to 10 based on its impact towards your goals, and be honest. Checking email 15 times a day, that's probably a 2. Having a strategic conversation with your boss about your career, that's a 9 or 10. Step number 3 is calculate time versus impact. Create 2 columns, time spent and impact rating. You'll quickly see the misalignment. You might spend 3 hours on low impact activities like social media scrolling, attending unnecessary meetings, but only 30 minutes on high impact ones, skill development or strategy planning, can change your life forever. Step 4 is identify your vital few. Look for activities that score 8, 9 or 10 on impact. These are your vital few, your 20% that drive your 80% of your results. Step 5 is identify your trivial many. Everything else, those are trivial many, the 80% of activities that only contribute 20% of your results. Now let's make this practical. I want you to create 4 boxes. Box number 1 will be high impact, low time, and these are your golden activities. Do more of these. Example like networking with key people, then learning high value skills, automating repetitive tasks. Box number 2 will be high impact, high time. These are important but need optimization. Examples like strategic planning, deep work sessions, block dedicated time for these. Box number 3 will be low impact, low time. These are your quick wins to eliminate. Examples like checking email constantly, minor administrative tasks. Batch these or delegate them. And box number 4 will be low impact, high time. These are your biggest time wasters. So it could be like excessive social media or unnecessary meetings, perfectionism or mistakes tasks. Eliminate these ruthlessly. Here's a game-changing strategy. Protect your 20% time like it's sacred. Schedule your high-impact activities first during your peak energy hours. Everything else fits around them, not the other way around. For the 80% of low-impact activities, you have 4 options. First is stop doing it entirely. That is called elimination. Second, use technology to handle it. That's automation. And third is give it to someone else. That's how you delegate. And fourth is spend as much time as possible on it. That's called minimizing it. People create a lot of common mistakes. First mistake is training the 80/20 rule as exact. It's guideline, not a law. Sometimes it's 90/10, sometimes it's 70/30. Focus on the principle, not the precise numbers. Second mistake people usually make is applying it just once. Your 20% changes as you grow and your goals evolve. Review and adjust quarterly. Third mistake is ignoring the compound effect. Some low impact activities today might become high impact tomorrow. Keep a small portion of your time for experimentation and relationship building. Pareto principle isn't just about productivity, it's about intentional living. It's about recognizing that not everything deserves your energy, and that's okay. In fact, it's liberating. Your challenge for this week is conduct your own Pareto audit, track your activities, measure their impact, and identify your vital few. Then protect that 20% like your success depends on it, because it does. Remember, you don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things. And now you know how to find them. What's one activity you are going to eliminate this week to make room for your high impact 20%? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical personal development strategies. Bye. See you in the next one.